Well, hi everyone. We are Karen and Neil, and we are the Private Label University, and we have some interesting information to share with you.
But this is specifically going to focus around labeling and products and new rules and regulations that have been implemented.
So, this is about how you make and find and label your products. So as you know, we talk a lot about when products are made or sourced in China, you need to make sure, especially if you're selling on Amazon, that they say made in China. So we're going to focus on the Made in the US label.
Made in the USA, there are new rules and regulations that have been set into place. They've set bills into place that when you're producing a product, whether companies in the USA are sending them outsourcing in China or anywhere in Asia or other parts of the world to have them made, that you just cannot print made in the USA. And they've actually, the International Trade Commission, I'm going to read a little bit here from some important articles, but it's from the Commerce Subcommittee of Commerce, Manufacturing, and Trade of the USA. So they passed this bill in-house that an American company, if they decide to, let's say they were making it, an American company was making a product in the USA, so of course it's made in the USA, and on their product they can print made in the USA. However, if they decide to take the product and have it made in Asia, any parts of Asia, or anywhere outside of the USA, they cannot legally print made in the USA, even though they've designed it in the USA, even though, let's say they've actually sent some of the materials offshore, let's say to China or to Taiwan, to have it made and assembled in Asia, in China. You still cannot print made in the USA. And the government's really going to crack down now on any type of products that they think may be investigated, or they want to check because they don't feel it was actually made in the USA. They're going to question also with customs to see where those products were imported from.
So I have a question. So how are they, so we can tell everyone, how are they cracking down? How are they going to even check or know?
Well, they're actually looking at different categories of more products now that are coming through that are of high demand. Things like the iPhone, for example, or different types of phones.
You have an iPhone.
So different types of phones now that, let's say some American companies have made overseas, but they bring them in and they package them or they put them in a nice case and they say made in the USA. Well, even the iPhone itself, so I have my iPhone here,
it's hard to see.
And on the iPhone it says designed by Apple, assembled in China. So the phone was actually made in China.
I thought it said design in California.
Design in California. Did I say design in China?
You said design in Apple.
Oh, I'm
designed in California.
Designed by Apple in California, assembled in China. So a lot of times people quickly look at it and they say, oh, designed by Apple, California. They think it's made in California, made in the USA, when it's actually not.
Words.
Right. And so the product, even assembled, the government is cracking down and saying, well, if it's assembled in China, are all the products from China? Is the whole phone put together in China and shipped here as a one piece? If it is then made in China. It's not made in the USA. Thank you, China, for this phone. You've done a great job on it. I have no problems with mine. So
are both sides then going to be looking at this? Because it's going to affect anyone importing, so especially Amazon sellers too, who are new to the game and don't know, are learning the labeling. So customs is going to crack down on this as well, checking, making sure not only the packaging, but also the actual product itself.
So it can actually get so detailed, and I've worked with companies where I've had to consult, where they have some of the products are made in China, some of the products are made maybe in Vietnam, they have them put together in China, or they have products sent from, let's say, Germany into China, then they're assembled and packaged and really manufactured. Of course, Europe has different laws than USA, but the new rules and regulations are going to be, if it's fully comes from China, it's assembled in China, it's made in China. It's not made in the USA. And what's going to happen is there's going to be substantial fines, as well as customs will say, no, this product can't come in. U.S. Customs can actually ask for time cards of the employees and to show when the product was produced for that batch of products. So it's very important to know that if you bring in a product from China, let's say you have packaging. So I know some companies in certain industries try to, go behind or think that be creative of ways to do it. So what some companies will do to be creative is they'll say assembled in China, made in the USA.
Just like the iPhone.
Right. What does that really mean?
Right.
Was it made in China? If it was all made in China, just because your packaging or let's say the poly bag was made in China, well, then your product was made in the USA perhaps. But if your product, let's say on the reverse side of that, the poly bag or the packaging or the box was made in the USA, but all the components that go into that poly bag are made in China, then the product is made in
China. So it's
Correct.
The same thing as if you're having it made in China, and you may be doing your own assembly. And so then again, if you're doing your own assembly here and you're putting it in a poly bag, it's still made in China because the product and all the pieces were made in China.
So the product was made in China. You can say packaged in the USA. But
and it's about using certain words, just like the iPhone. Again, what does the iPhone say?
The iPhone says designed by Apple in California and assembled in China. So was it made at all? It was designed in the USA, but the product was made in China. So really, by law,
it's just
Apple,
the way
if you're
they're
listening,
using it.
you have to put made in China. Assembled will not cut it in the future. There's some great phones being made in China these days. And so I think that's where, again, you have to be careful now. But it's not necessarily a matter of being careful. It's following the law. There are rules and regulations in place. And a lot of products will be seized or not allowed to import because people are trying to do things that they're not supposed to.
And this works on both sides. Whether you're in China listening to this and you are a manufacturer or a supplier, a vendor, distributor, this applies to you as well as someone who is importing in products as well. You both need to know that what the rules are, what customs is going to be looking for, and what needs to be on a product.
And so for manufacturers in China, one recommendation is if you do have a company in the USA or other parts of the world, but especially since we're talking about North America, if they say, oh, don't worry, you don't have to put made in China, put made in USA, then by law, the government's not going to chase you down in the USA. However, they're going to start watching where the products are coming out of, and they could say any products coming from this factory we will not allow into the USA. So if you're shipping products or making products for many companies, they can say any products from this company are not allowed to be shipped into North America. So if a company in the USA says, oh, don't worry, just print this on the package, we recommend all suppliers and manufacturers in China follow the rules. It'll help your company. The U.S. is looking for more companies in Asia who are going to follow these rules and follow the regulations and abide by them because it'll make them able to ship more products into North America.
Any takeaways you want to tell anyone?
Well, again, with any type of labeling and packaging, talk to your supplier. As a product developer, let's say, if you're in the USA and you're taking it to a manufacturer in China, ask them what type of labeling they put on their packaging or on the product, as well as look at the rules. You can go online. Any companies in China can always contact us at privatelabeluniversity.com. We can explain the recommendations of and actually the rules and regulations of what you're supposed to put on those products for manufacturers in the USA are looking to have it made overseas. But always ask questions and follow the rules and regulations. Follow the law. It'll help your company being able to export more products and grow your business.
Because once you're on that radar,
they'll red flag you all the time. And
the fines. Who wants to have to pay those extra fees?
What will happen is if you're making many products for some of these companies in the USA and they're saying, oh, don't worry about this or that product, well, then actually the government they may shut them down. And they'll look at all their products. And of course, if they're giving you a lot of business, you won't be getting that business anymore.
And that's something that we have seen as well, where people might be ordering a few different products from a manufacturer and having things shipped in. And yeah, maybe we'll have a few shipments that get through, but if, maybe one of those products say something like made in the US, for example, or just mislabeled, then they happen to pull that shipment, two of those products might be fine, but that one that, is trying to get through and you're caught,
Yeah, and
they go back.
A lot of manufacturers
they go back and check your other shipments.
A lot of manufacturers in Asia as well as in the USA send us their samples, send us their packaging, and ask us, what other labeling should we put on here? Is this the correct labeling? Is this the way we're supposed to label it? Because if it's going to multiple countries, or depending on the way you distribute it, you might have to have it in French and Spanish, in multiple languages. If you're just selling it in the domestic market in USA, well, there's simple rules you have to follow for hazard products, products that are not for children, products that are, different approvals for FDA or safeties or warnings. You have to have these on these products. And once you label it that way and have it prepared in that type of shipping box, then of course it's much easier for you. And I think more people and consumers and importers and retailers, they want to see a lot of that labeling. It's not to scare someone, it's just to have it on there for everyone's benefit.
Absolutely.
So if you are a company in Asia and you're asking questions because you're concerned that maybe the company that has approached you, you're not sure if they're really following the guidelines and the rules, we want you to do more business, and we're willing to help you. Reach out to us at Private Label University, and any questions you have, we'd love to answer them.
So thank you for joining us here on YouTube, and like Neil said, we'd love to hear from you. So down below, if you'd like to comment, just tell us what you thought. And if you want more information, you can always find us on Facebook at Private Label University, and we have a private group there where we just talk about importing and Amazon and all that fun stuff.
Rules and regulations and all the stuff you're supposed to know.
Yeah, and you can also follow us over, check us out on our website at www.privatelabeluniversity.com. We have a ton of free content there, so take advantage of that. And we look forward to speaking with you soon.
See you soon. 再见.